Hi, welcome back. This is Nick Agram. In this video, I will be discussing solving quadratic equations by extracting square roots. In my first videos, I discussed the different forms of quadratic equations. For example, we have the general form, ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. And I also said a cannot be equal to 0. But b can be equal to 0, then it will look like this, ax squared plus c is equal to 0. Or c can be 0, and then I will have ax squared plus bx is equal to 0. The type or the form of quadratic equations that we're going to look at this time is when b is equal to 0. So when b is equal to 0, that means you have only the c that you're going to take care of. You have only the constant that we're going to take care of. I will give an example. For example, we have the easiest example is x squared minus 4 is equal to 0. Then we can solve this by extracting the square roots. For example, we have to add both sides of the equation by 4 with 4. And this one will be 0. Then we have x squared is equal to 4. Then we take the square root of both sides of the equation, and we have x is equal to positive and negative 2. Quadratic equations have either no real roots, one root, or we call it double root, and then we have two roots. It is the two roots, the most of it is two roots, and even one root we call it double roots anyway. Then it is the two roots. Why it is like that? Because 2 squared is 2. At the same time, if we have in the same manner, if we have negative 2 in a parenthesis, of course, squared, then it is also 4. Sorry, this should be 4. As you can see, then we usually say like this: our x sub 1 is 2, and our x sub 2 is negative 2. Let's take some more example. For example, we have 4x squared minus 16 is equal to 0. Then you can do this in two different ways. I will write it here. Either you divide both sides of the equation by 4 directly, x squared minus 4 is equal to 0, or you add 16 to both sides of the equation, 0 plus 16. Then this will be 0. Then you have 4x squared is equal to 16. And then add both sides of the equation by 4 with 4. And then x squared is equal to 4. And then you divide both sides of the equation by 4. X squared is equal to 4. Then you will have the same answer. This will give us, if you extract the square roots of both sides of the equation, then you only have x is plus minus 2. The same is true here also. X is equal to plus minus 2. So as you can see, you can only use extracting square roots when b is equal to 0, when it is look like this. So use extracting square root, extracting square roots only when ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0, such as b is equal to 0. So that ax squared plus c is equal to 0. You can only use this, or else you cannot use. On my next video, then I will be discussing solving quadratic equations by factoring. Yeah, see you there. No, I changed my mind. I will give more example. For example, I have x squared minus plus 4 is equal to 0. Then if we subtract 4 to both sides of the equation, then we have x squared is equal to negative 4. Then we extract both sides of the equation, and we have x is equal to the negative one there will give you an error. That means this type of equation, as early as now, I will just tell you that this has no real solution. In your future studies in mathematics, then you will be discussing complex numbers and imagine numbers and complex numbers. Then back then you will come back to this idea that if the number under the square root symbol is negative, then we have no real solutions, I should say.